The president, who is usually very curious and willing to entertain shouted questions, was very concerned about sticking to a script that his staff sent him to the stage with.
Staff, is there anybody haven't spoken to? No, I ain't calling on you. I'm calling on, I said there are 5 questions. Tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed. Thank you.
They eventually played him off with music as though he went too long while accepting a Grammy. That is not something that you usually see at a solo press conference from the president, but neither is an announcement that he needs to go to bed. The president is now aboard Air Force One. He is going to be in the air the entire time that the real-time commemorations of the September 11th terrorist attacks are happening this morning, and we expect to see him in the 4 p.m. Eastern hour there in Alaska for an event with first responders and military there. Back to you.
Peter, I'm sure every president is tired when they travel so far, when the time changes are different. But have we ever had a president in the history of our country stand up at the podium and say, I'm tired, I'm going to bed?
It's possible. And he did have a long night in terms of working Eastern hours. So, like, he was up basically from 11:30 p.m. Eastern through that comment was made in the 10 a.m. Eastern hour. But, it was like early evening here. It was morning back in the States. And so it was surprising to hear that he didn't have a few more minutes for questions for a press corps that did travel all the way to Vietnam to talk to him, and that he had to go upstairs at the hotel where that event was to call it a night.
Hey, Peter, I understand diplomacy matters, and sometimes you can't say exactly what you think or your tactics. I get it. But for Vietnam to be almost as concerned about their security from China, a communist country, as we are, says something about the magnitude of the threat. Also, I did not know they had rare earth. So how real is this deal about rare earth and some type of trade exchange there?
Well, we'll see, because Vietnam wants to be friends with all the superpowers that'll have them. And so we expect in the next couple days, couple weeks, for Xi to come and make a visit of his own here. But you're right. China has the second biggest deposit of these rare earth minerals in the world after only, Vietnam has the second biggest deposit of these rare earth minerals after only China. And that's what you need for these semiconductor chips that President Biden says he wants to emphasize making more of at home. So we'll see if it is a real deal or not. But President Biden didn't come here for no reason. He came here because they don't want China to have total control, total influence over this part of the world. But that just did not match his public comments. His public comments were very cheery. China's having a tough time economically, but we hope that they turn things around, because when China does well, everybody does well. We wish them the best. So the reason, and it was important enough for the president to come here that they blew out a 9/11 morning schedule so that he could be here 2 days. They could have left yesterday after the event to at least get to Alaska in time. They could have scheduled this for before the G20 so that he could be back in New York, Pennsylvania, or Northern Virginia. But they decided this was such a strategic visit, so important, that they just had to do it, and everything else could wait.
Had to do it, skip 9/11 ceremonies, and then leave us confused. Peter, your reporting's been clear, but I remain confused by what the president or the White House position is, or what advantages we gained from this visit in Vietnam. Peter Doocy, go ahead and go to bed. If the president said he was, then you're allowed as well. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks. Yeah.